introducing, as I said, I was saving the best for last. I live in Warren, and I have watched this young lady run from office and supported her. And I think I was maybe one of the first people that told her, you should run for mayor. And some years later, she chose to do that, and I'm proud to say she is my mayor of Warren, Lori Stone.
Well, thank you. Well, it's a privilege to be here. I think, but I was talking to Senator Chang this morning, and she was asking me about what was happening in Warren, and I said, it's pretty incredible how so many experiences of my life prepared me to be here now, including what happened this week. And I just wanted to start with build on what Helene's saying, because the landscape in elections is shifting, and it's new, and it's looking different than it's ever been before. So we know from the last special election that more people are voting absentee than ever before, and there's some really big benefits to that, right? Because regardless of weather, the prospect of being able to mail to everyone, we have the chance to engage people in elections that they wouldn't opt in to show up for day of election voting. Warren, having a special election, their clerk faced a new challenge, which was she had ballots out for 2 elections simultaneously. And so one of the challenges she brought me was, what do we do? I've had residents say we put both ballots in the same envelope, and there was no directive for how to handle that. So being able to go back to the Secretary of State's office and say, I don't know if it's been flagged for you yet, but my clerk wants to know how to handle that. And then how do we reach out to those voters and say, spoil your ballot for the one, because they had to collect the ballot for the election of the envelope it was turned in for. And so whatever the other one is, so the question then became, was it for the special primary, which was first, or the presidential was second, and do they even know which ballot they put in which envelope? And so that was a new messaging that was, if you're not sure, if you put them both in the same envelope, check which one was credited and then show up and still vote, or spoil the other ballot and show up. So it's all new every time, and so we know that the path to democracy comes through Macomb County, and that looks like Warren, big time. So it's my privilege. We're approaching 100 days in office, and it has been an adventure. Just this week, Channel 4 News did a neighborhood in the news focus on Warren, and they did a spectacular package, just focusing on what good things are happening in Warren, and it was so refreshing. I showed up for SEMCOG's University 101, and the 2 refrains that I keep hearing are, 1, you are a breath of fresh air, and 2, Warren hasn't been here before. I said, well, we are showing up now because there are a lot of resources that we have missed out, our residents have missed out on, because people fail to show up for our community. And make no mistake, that will not continue to happen. This week we had our final visit in our listening tour. I think residents were initially not sure what a listening tour was because they're not used to being listened to. And the power I took away was, people have a lot of expectations. Candidates on the doors are asking, what do you want? What do you want to see changed? What are the problems that need to be addressed? And we hear broad swaths, the roads need to be fixed, environmental sustainability. But if I give you EV charging stations and what you're looking for is green spaces, I think I just served you. And you're saying you're not listening to me. You're not solving my problems. So starting with level setting and listening was pretty powerful, because now we know where we want to start on the master plan and what are the things that we can push past the finish line and prioritize. Those are my takeaways. In addition, we had a chemical spill in Bear Creek. And all I could think was, my first year in the legislature, I came home to green ooze on 696 at the Cousins Road exit. I got involved even though I wasn't a Madison Heights rep. I knew Warren was downstream of Madison Heights. I knew it was less than a mile from the DeQuinter border, and I knew that it was going to impact our community. So in the legislature, I got involved in the oversight. I worked with EPA, I worked with Eagle. I educated myself on what are plating services, Why are they so prevalent in our community? What are the chemicals being used? How are they being managed today, and how are they mismanaged in the past? Because these all have implications to what's happening now. And the good news is, when this happened, Bear Creek runs through the GM Tech Center campus. So they had their eyes on it first. They flagged that there was a problem. They reported it to Eagle, which flagged it for the county and for the city, and our wastewater treatment was on it and has been working just collaboratively and rapidly since it was flagged. We also had residents who flagged it by 2 p.m. for the mayor's office and said, we've been watching this. We thought maybe it was because of the rains, but it doesn't look like it's going away. So, you know, it was nice to have, just to know the community is looking out. We have drones. Our fire department just purchased industrial drones. So they could go, and EPA tapped us to go and photograph. They had to go through the sewers and sample to find back to where the origin was, which was in the 10 Mile and Mound Road area. We were able to find the source, and we discovered that the original owners left chemicals behind when they decided to sell. We discovered that the new owners bought it as is with a $70,000 discount, and when they discovered that cleanup would be $80,000, it wasn't what they thought they invested in, and turned off the electricity, turned off the heat, and basically walked away. And the pipes burst, accumulated, and the latest I hear is they brought someone in to pump it out into the sewers, bypassing all the routes that they were supposed to. So the good news is we have criminal investigation going on that will compel them to clean this up. So that works in our favor, but it also brought to light who are these. Most of the time these are good actors now that we have regulations. Whatever they bring on site, they're accountable for disposing of. The question is, how many old factories or businesses are still out there that have these chemicals on site? And what can we do to manage and mitigate that? So that was my week in Warren. Does anyone have questions?
You had flooding last week.
We had flooding. I think that was 2 weeks ago. But it's all these little adventures, but it really shows on the job training. It shows how exemplary. Overwhelmingly, anyone who's campaigned in Warren, they will tell you when you say, what are your problems? Warren residents will say, we're good. We're good. Maybe that road at the end of the street with the pothole, but we're good. But it really shines a light on how exemplary our services are, regardless of politics at the top. Those people who are our employees and serve the community day in and day out, they show up, they do the hard work, and they're consistent, and we can count on them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for Lori? Michael?
So two quick questions. One, 100 days, like what's been, I guess, the best part, the highlight from your 100 days outside of the, solving the flooding issues and stuff like that? And then what's one thing that you're looking forward to in your next, 3 years?
Great question. One is the amount of doors that this has opened. We built our team, we're building our team. And so really getting to dig in and meet people and talk about what their passions are and how they want to get involved in helping the community. We got to visit the White House and meet the president. And then the president came to Warren and returned the favor. And so those are lifetime. Those weren't even bucket lists. But also it really shined. I had someone ask, why Warren, why now? And I said, because we've been beating the drum for years, if not decades, on the importance of Macomb County. And they're sitting up and they're hopefully taking us seriously because this is crucial. The next 3 years, you have these aspirations, you have the promises, you have all the things that you see in your community you want to change, and you want to start that right away. The one thing you don't anticipate is all the problems you have to fix, all the was left behind, or all that they failed to leave behind and rebuild. And so you have to go slow to go fast, back up, build that solid foundation. And so in the next 3 years, I can't wait to implement all the things that people are looking for. We have infrastructure investment available. We have the ability to draw down grants. And so we can help make taxpayer dollars go further and fund some of these really inflection point changes that are going to make some really good impacts in our community. So, great.
Thank you.